Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, 7th grade DCPS students. My name is Michael Ennis. I'm a social studies teacher at Brown Education Campus. Let's get started. So the purpose of this video is to show you kind of what to expect for week 4 and week 5 of the 7th grade social studies packet, and also to give you a little bit of context. How I always start with my classes is focusing on the performance task. So at the end of this packet, your scholars are going to be making a public service announcement around the question, what does it mean to be a good citizen? They can focus on their family, being a citizen in their family, a citizen in their school, their city, their country, or their world. I always let my students choose. If you have any questions, talk to your social studies teacher. As you can see to the right, I give you a couple of examples of PSAs that are going around right now. Alone together, social distancing, staying 6 feet away, remembering to wash your hands, and then don't forget, election going on. Don't forget to vote. Whenever I'm confused about these packets, I always first look at the table of contents. So as you can see, we start off with student directions. It's a very brief paragraph about what they're going to be doing. And then learning standards. These are standards from DCPS. I personally think that's more for the teachers. But if you want to take a look, there they are. And then this is really what I look at. So you can see week 4 is split up into 2 supporting questions. Week 5 is split up into 2 supporting questions. And I'm really going to go into much more detail about that later in the video. So I'm not going to waste our time. Before we really get started, this is really important. And my students need to know this right away. So I'm going to tell you right away. We're going to be talking a lot about Greek city-states. A lot of my students, when they're in 7th grade, don't know what a city-state is. So a city-state is basically a city that acts like its own country. And the reason why that happened in Greece, if you look on the map, Greece is a bunch of little islands. They don't really have a big mainland, and it's very hilly and rocky most of the time. So this civilization really that was created in these different cities like Athens and Sparta, probably the 2 most famous ones, were able to develop really independently. And as a result of that development and that independence and that isolation, you had multiple different forms of government happening in Greece. So as long as you know that, it's going to make this unit a lot easier. So we're going to take a look at week 4. There are 2 supporting questions, as you can see. It should take 4 days. At the end of supporting question 1, your students are going to make a summary comparison chart, and at the end of supporting question 2, your students are going to make a concept web. Supporting question 1, what were the different forms of government in ancient Greece city-states? This is what I would say is your job for day 1. You're going to read and annotate about the 4 types of government. They're monarchy, oligarchy, tyranny, and democracy. There is a pretty lengthy document with some questions you need to answer along the way. And then with day 2, there's another document more specifically about democracy, and then your students are going to fill in this comparison chart. All right? That's pretty much day 2. Day 3 and 4, we switch gears and we take a deeper dive in democracy. There are 4 sources, source D, E, F, and G. And then your students are going to have to fill out a concept web. What I always try and do personally is do source D, E, and F. I would do that in 1 day. And then I would do source G in the concept web the next day. So day 3, I would suggest doing these 3 sources. And day 4, making it source G in the concept web. Then we hit week 5. So 2 supporting questions, complete Venn diagram, and then create your PSA. Day 5 and 6, you're looking at supporting question 3. Day 7 and 8, you're looking at your PSA. So let's take a look for day 5 and 6. Around supporting question 3, how does democracy in ancient Greece compare to democracy today? I would say day 5, you're reading and annotating source H. Don't be fooled by that screen capture. Source H is a lot longer. And then filling out the diagram. Ancient Greece democracy, what's different from democracy in ancient Greece, and then democracy today, and then what's similar in the center. Really think about this. This is kind of really important. to see how governments have changed. And then for day 6, I would say read and annotate source I, and then fill out what actually does it mean to be a good citizen. And these criteria are really, really important because this is what your PSA should be focused on. Then day 7 and 8, what makes a good citizen? You're creating your PSA. And there's more information coming soon. In fact, the PSA, the performance test is going to have its own video. So I'm really not going to go into great detail about that. Hopefully this was helpful. I hope you guys good luck. If you have any questions, reach out to your social studies teacher. I'm sure they're eager to hear you and help you. All right, good luck.